All right, so we are back with some podcast at Planet Ford 635. I'm Sheena, and we are here today with Tony and Tank of the Garland Police Never Walk Alone Foundation. And basically, we've got a big clay shoot coming up on March 21st, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, we're going to dive into how the foundation got started and the impact that they're making here locally in Garland. Welcome, guys.
Hey, nice to be here. Thank you.
Of course.
So I'm Christian Gibson. They call me Tank. I've had that on the police force here for a very long time. And so I'm the director of events right now. I was the former president of the Garland Police Never Walk Alone. So I'm the one that definitely works around Sheena a lot in Planet Ford 635 and what they do with us.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm Tony Blassingame. Been with the unit for about 30 years, and it's just working with Sheena and Planet 635 has come a long way from where we started to where we are now.
Oh, yeah.
So how did, obviously you guys been around a couple years, how did this whole thing get started and who was involved and how did it come about?
So it's been 4 years now is what we were talking about. And, it's so our lieutenant over traffic, so we're all traffic unit. And on traffic unit, you got a lot of former SWAT and bomb. And so we're pretty tight-knit group, just constantly there for each other. And our Lieutenant Carker over traffic ended up getting cancer. He had mantle cell carcinoma, which is a very rare cancer. And he was talking to me about it. I had a rare cancer too, so we were just kind of doing the cancer brother deal and talking to each other. He went through a lot of hardships as he went through it. And basically what we were trying to do, and this is before the idea of the foundation, is we were just trying to help our lieutenant out, our brother in blue. So we started collecting money, and we started collecting every paycheck we had all put in the kettle. We'd put $100. And so we built up money for him because he was having to go back and forth to MD Anderson. And so we were working with him on that. And then he, as time went on, he started fighting it and doing better and getting through it. Never really cured, but getting through it. And so basically, as the road went down, he was kind of going to a dark place, and he ended up committing suicide. And so we were all dealing with that and supporting his family. But we have collected at that point so much money. We were like, well, what do we do? We had thousands of dollars, that were there. We had saved up to help him out. And actually, one of our senior officers in traffic said, well, you guys have done so well and you're doing it for the right reason. You should start a foundation. I mean, the things that y'all were doing and getting help through the community. And that's how we started raising some of the money. We were having cookouts, and he's like, y'all are really good at this, and the community is really wanting to support you guys, and you're seeing that. Why don't you keep doing it? You're doing all kinds of good things, and that way it will keep his name alive in a great way.
Right.
So our logo ends up having his picture in it, actually. And so we created the Garland Police Never Walk Alone Foundation. So we thought of the longest name possible that has the worst acronym ever. And so our website, thankfully, is just garlandpolicefoundation.com. .org. Yeah. .org, excuse me. So that's how we were created. And basically that's where you guys came into play. And we're like, hey, we want to help you guys out. And y'all pretty much straight up adopted us. Yes. And you and I started working together. And so it all came through something that was happening with our brother. It went through kind of a dark spot, but in it, we've basically shined a light on his name and people going through hard times. And so that's what we focus on. Our foundation is about helping officers and their immediate family through catastrophic events. We talk about PTSDs and everything.
We don't help just officers and their families. We help any member of the police department. That's dispatchers, jailers,
forensics,
support staff, forensics, anybody within the department and their family members.
Yes.
So we wanted to make it inclusive of everybody because everyone in the department needs help at one point or another.
And y'all have even partnerships with obviously the mental health aspect as well, with counseling And I know we've all talked about this before, but as a first responder, a police officer, the things that you guys see every day, and then, you could have post-traumatic stress from something you've seen, and you go to sleep, and the next day you're supposed to be the big, tough, strong guy protecting the community, and you're back out there seeing another traumatic event, and you guys are supposed to be the heroes that don't talk about things. And what I love about you guys is that y'all are vulnerable and allowing anyone in Garland with the police department to come forward and say, we're here to support you and it's okay to talk about those things.
Yeah, absolutely. You put it well. So we are basically trying to rip the Band-Aid off taboo as far as when you're doing your job, you do it well, but know that there's always a relief valve there. So we're trying to bring that to light. And actually what we're doing right now on your podcast is, like you said, just be a little vulnerable and talk about it. It's not always fun talking about it, but it's a necessary thing. So that's what we do. And we kind of tagged it catastrophic events because it can go from something physical they're going through or mental, or it could be a tornado, maybe, because the officer's reporting to work while the tornado's going on. But by the way, his house just got torn up. His family's safe, hopefully, but he's got to go help all the citizens, and that's his job. So it's us saying, hey, we'll help you with that. So it's monetary too, and we've helped quite a few. We are kind of somewhat secretive.
Right.
We want the officers to be able to come to us if they're not totally comfortable with what they're dealing with and they don't want it to get out. So we've helped out a lot of people, and it feels pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's up to them if within the board, whether they want to remain anonymous from most of the board. But we're willing to help anybody. And it's just that ability to take that mental strain from what's going on outside of the job, to take a little bit of that and take it away from them and help in any way we can. So we do everything that we do, and what we partner with you on is to raise the funds to get bigger, to do it better.
Yeah. And how does that work if someone wants to reach out to you? Do they do that through the website, or is that more word of mouth through you guys at the department?
Well, they can do it through the website.
Okay.
They can go on there and apply. They can come to any board member, and we'll take care of the paperwork and help them with the paperwork to submit to the board. Several different ways, but mainly the website or coming to a board member.
Okay.
Any board member can do it.
Okay. And one of my favorite things, obviously, through a lot of work we've done with nonprofits, is everything that they're doing with Garland Police Never Walk Alone Foundation is the funds are going to help those in need.
Right.
All of these guys are giving their time and energy. They're not getting paid.
Oh, no. No, it's completely.
We've got them involved with events, and on weekends they're at events, and it's all 100% donation of their time. So I think that shows something about just doing stuff for your brothers and sisters in the community right there.
And that's what we actually, as we were forming this and as we were doing the nonprofit, we discussed, like, nobody gets paid. We don't pay for phones. We don't pay for meals. Everything is on us because we want 100% of what the people give us and what the community works with us on to go to support the people we've talked about, everybody within that fence. So every bit of that money none of it goes to us. Everything goes to help those people.
That's amazing. So what do you, okay.
Well, it's helped us out a lot too, because I'm kind of I think you and I are quite, we can talk to people, we enjoy doing that, and seeing how we can work with companies and all that. But as a whole with the board, I've noticed that it actually gets the officers to talk to the community. So a lot of people on our board will have officers that'll come onto the board and they're like, hey, I might have to talk to a bunch of people. I'm like, well, you actually do it every day. It's just, so basically, is that better? Okay. So basically what we like to do is, what can we do to help build up the community? Because sometimes there's new businesses and they're like, we want to help you guys out, but y'all are so involved in the community. How can we help out and get our name out there? And you actually, Planet Forward 635 and you basically thrust us out into the community. And that's what's helped us, is actually working with the businesses and then going, oh, wow, you guys want to help us too? Like we just wanted y'all to thrive. And it's really been kind of
and it's
awesome
it's
relationship.
It's a really good talking point, because all these businesses, they want to support, and sometimes they don't know how. So by
Right.
doing stuff like this, we're educating, the public how to get involved,
Yep.
and they want to support the mission. But then when they attend these events, all the companies are networking together,
Right.
Yep.
and then it's helping all these companies local to Garland. And then our big goal is, as we grow the events, getting outside companies to come to Garland
Yep.
and just more and more support. And have you guys heard anything from other police departments talking about what you guys are doing?
Actually, yeah, because even just like podcasts like this are like, man, the stuff you all talk about, and that's pretty deep, even when you're just throwing little acronyms out there that we don't typically throw out there as police officers. And the wellness and recovery room, stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So basically things that y'all have helped out with, where we have a room there for the officers to escape if they went through something pretty traumatic, if you will. And it's just a chill out room, but it's got chilled out music going. It's got I know it sounds kind of crazy, but a moss wall, just something to just focus on and just kind of relax. And it's got all kinds of even physical recovery devices in there, like red light therapy beds. And the community actually chipped in and helped us.
To get it built.
It was one of our association members that came up with it. He had great ideas about it, named Skylar, and he was actually the kinesiologist, I believe, for the SMU soccer team. He comes up with all this. He knew what stuff we needed to
And you
do
got the
physical.
one massage chair too that's
Yeah.
like super high tech.
Oh,
Yes.
the
Well,
pressure.
thousands of dollars.
Two of
Yeah.
Two that are
Yeah,
yes.
and basically what he did is he said, hey, we'll make this a physical and mental recovery room.
Right.
So from working out to maybe some injuries to like, I just need to mentally get away for a moment and just get my thoughts collected. And the community helped out with that. I mean, and we just put the work together to make it happen. Our chief gave us the room. I mean,
Oh yeah.
who would have known? So yes, to answer your question, PDs, I have a Fort Worth officer coming to me. I've had Wiley come to me. They're all over the place. They're looking at it going, man, you guys, well, Allen is now looking at it and they want to build their own room. And so, yes, stuff like this, Sheena, it's making it, hey, man, so officers, like,
Yeah, and
y'all are human.
Yeah.
You know?
And even
Yeah.
just, I mean, all of us are doing it, but it's like, Tony, you go to lunch and brainstorm, and it leads to one thing to another to
Right.
another. And just like Light Up to Live Foundation,
Yeah.
that Randall and the Reeds run,
Yep.
they have the LED light therapy polychromatic
helped us out a
systems.
lot.
Right.
Yes, so they actually
Big
donated
time.
the 2 systems to you
Yep.
guys
Which
for
is huge.
recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just little by little connecting, someone knows someone, and
Yep.
it just
Right.
kind of adds to
Well,
the
yeah.
aspect of everything.
And as we've gone through this and as we've done the soccer tournaments and we've done this stuff, some of the volunteers that come and help us are firefighters from other agencies,
Mhm.
police officers from other agencies, and they're like, man, this is awesome. I would love for this to happen in my department. And my answer to them is, if you would love to have it happen,
Mm-hmm.
you're the voice of change. You can do that in your department. We love that you're coming to help us, but we'd love to come help you guys
Yeah.
when you guys start it too.
Oh, that's great. So
Again,
more of an education and
Right.
Right.
And stuff that you and I
mentoring.
run into.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're talking to companies and they're like, we're really interested in you, but we are really kind of looking to help veterans. And then you and I are looking at each other. I was like, well, honestly, if you think about it, most police officers in fire, I'm going to throw around like an 80 percentile are
Yep.
veterans.
Yes.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of like, the running joke in the military. I'm a veteran. He's a veteran. If you were Army, Marine, maybe Navy, you're probably going to be a police officer or firefighter when you
Yeah.
get out. That's pretty normal. That's pretty
Air
normal.
Force too.
Air Force too. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, well, Air Force, y'all guys are so smart.
Oh, I was
But
Army.
you're Army.
I was
yeah.
Army.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But we
So-
got to throw Air Force
yeah.
in there.
Yeah, but yeah, so I sometimes like companies to know that too. Like, well, you actually really are helping out veterans.
Right. If they're, hey, we're just supporting veterans or just first
Yeah.
responders, that,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's how Garland PD was. I was like, how
That's-
many veterans are?
Oh yeah, and it's like now you're helping both. They've just become first responders. That's
Yes.
it. But they're still veterans.
You
Yeah.
should be in the room in the traffic office because there's Navy, there's Marines, there's Army.
Yeah.
And when we start and you guys know service members mess with each other.
Yeah.
When it starts going, it starts going.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
a blast. I mean, there's so many service members within the PD, not in the civilian side as well as the law enforcement side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it used to just be like, I mean, I've been here almost 10 years, but when we started doing some original work with veterans, I always thought like, well, I didn't serve or I don't really know a lot, maybe they don't want my help. And then I had a lot of veterans come forward and said, we appreciate you.
Yes.
You know, this is your way of serving. And I was like, oh, I've never thought about that.
Mhm.
So my way is by going on LinkedIn and reaching out to new companies and getting them to support you guys. You know, that's my way of helping for us as the dealership to give back.
And I'm glad you're bringing that up, because I think sometimes that's what people don't realize what you're doing, is that you're actually, through being a spokesperson for us, first responders and veterans for Planet Ford 635, that you're actually reaching out and saying, hey, this is how I can connect you to the first responders hashtag or veterans. And so, yeah, I mean, you help out a lot with that. I mean, and you're basically a spokesperson for us, you know, and you've taught us a lot, because then you start introducing us to stuff like this, where in some of the podcasts we've become pretty vulnerable and talk about some pretty deep stuff, you know, and it helps us out too. But then you're giving awareness to other veterans and first responders, like, hey man, let's talk about this. This needs to come out into the open.
Oh yeah.
You know?
And by sharing that, after the last clay shoot, our second annual, I was just so overwhelmed in a positive way that all these businesses came up after, and Tank spoke and Pesta spoke, and they were like, I've never seen two grown men be so vulnerable in such an amazing way to show us what they're actually living through every day. Like I didn't really fully comprehend that. Thank you for that. And you know, we want our dollars to go to support these first responders in our community.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And for us, when we're off duty, it's hard to be social. I mean, because we're out there just dealing with everything all day. So it's hard for us to be social when we're off duty, but we realize that we have to be social in what we're doing, because we want to help. So we get out there and we do these things and we talk and we voice what we're feeling. It's hard to do, but we do it because it only benefits other people, you know, and because it's hard to sit here and tell a story that that you know is going to make you cry, or that's in your head a lot. But if you're going to help somebody else, that's what you need to do.
Well, I think the big word was, you said, a voice, because sometimes I look at it as a word, a voice for the officers or firefighters that maybe don't know how to say it, or even the veterans, because we're all one, really. Yeah. But then that's where we have your help too, you know, because you're like, hey, I put this together so you guys can talk about this. I need y'all to talk about this because people need to know, and they want to help that. And so we're like, okay, let's do it. And so yeah, it's been therapeutic for me.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I've always said that with all the surgeries I've had, that being able to help others and building that sense of community, and same translation to y'all's nonprofit, is it lets them know they're not alone. And by you being vulnerable, as hard as that is, it's encouraging them to step forward and say, I can do that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the clay shoot.
Okay, let's do it.
So our first one, we raised $40,000.
Right.
And obviously Planet Ford 635 hosts this, but it is all about all the companies coming together from Garland, because if we didn't have them, like, it wouldn't be possible.
No.
And our second annual, we did $40,000. And then this one, Tony's been helping me this year.
Yep. And we're looking at right now about $60,000. And we're hoping before it starts that we're going to hit 70.
Yes.
And we could do that with some help.
Yes.
Anybody ready to help? We're ready to take it.
Yes. So right now what we're doing is $2,000 is a team of 4, and then you get material in the thank you bags. You can get banner recognition, signage at the station, opportunity to speak at the event, and then you're actually, who's the gentleman doing the breakfast tacos?
It's a guy named David Galvan, who actually retired from us.
Really? Oh, wow.
He started a food truck,
Uh-huh.
and I thought, who better to come in
That's
and
cool, man.
serve during this is
awesome.
one of our retired officers.
Yeah.
So he's going to come in with his food truck, and he's making breakfast tacos.
So you get breakfast, and then you also get lunch. So Texas Day Brazil does food for everyone, completely sponsored. Phenomenal company. Check them out. They support veterans and first responders. So, and then you also get ammo, which the Wrecker company.
Right. McIntyre Wrecker Company has sponsored the ammo for the shoot. So they'll have one of their giant wreckers out there. So they've been nice enough to do that. One thing I did want to say, I talked to Mrs. J last night, and she's going to go ahead and do the fudge. And if you guys have never had it, Mrs. J's Heavenly Delights, she's going to do the fudge for the event. She's in downtown Garland. If you've never had it, if Tank gets a bag of it, nobody's getting any.
I mean, eat it in 5
and when
minutes.
I said that, I meant when they bring a bag for us, nobody gets any. So
I'd share a little bit.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but she will be she's doing that for us as well. I just want to let y'all know that I talked to
Yeah.
her last night.
Yeah,
So-
she's awesome. She actually, you talking about someone that really puts forth a lot of effort. You know, which she recently got in a car accident and got injured, and she's still saying, "Hey, I'm going to be there to do this." So I'm like,
Right.
why don't-
Yeah.
you know, try to recover first. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, her and her family are always been so supportive of us. So yeah, Mrs. J's treats they are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But we're hoping right now we have 160 shooters. We're hoping to get that up to 180 or 200. This will be the biggest one yet, and just trying to grow that for more support. But everybody goes and shoots for about 2 hours. When they're done and come back, we'll hear some speeches from these guys to learn more about the nonprofit. We go through awards, raffle items, auction items, and really all the companies are just, you know, networking and for the greater good. So
Well, sometimes some of them haven't done clay shoots, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, so I'm going to go out in the woods and do this." And man, they couldn't be more wrong. It's like a high-end country club. They're
Yeah.
on golf carts.
Yeah.
Some people bring out their side-by-sides, which are just ridiculous.
Oh,
Some
it's
of
Heat,
them.
impressive.
AC.
Yes.
Wow. And
Heat,
then they,
AC, upper
yeah.
deck seating.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and so instead of the golf clubs on back, people are got their shotguns all locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is so cool. And then you're going basically hole to hole, but instead of playing golf, you got clay shoot. And what they have there at the gun ranch is amazing.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have
Texas
an
Gun
awesome
Ranch is-
setup.
Yep.
Awesome setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going to Yellowstone inside. You know, if you like the Yellowstone setup, that's what it looks like.
And don't forget, I mean, we already talked about breakfast, but we're also serving lunch.
yeah, Texas Day Brazil.
Texas Day Brazil.
So
Solid.
you're going to get breakfast and you're going to get lunch and you're going to have a good time. And it is. There's a lot of companies there that are going to network with each other. In fact, several companies that have come in are now working tightly with each other on other ventures that have nothing to do with us. So it's a great place to network with all these companies.
Yeah, and I just enjoy hearing the history of everyone. So like even Kimbrell's Custom Machine Shop, he's a Navy veteran.
Yep.
So they love just helping support
veterans
you guys.
helping veterans.
Yes, and Resistol Hat
Yep.
Co.
Yeah.
Stetson hats and
I
Garland.
got my Stetson hat from
Yes.
Resistol,
So I
obviously.
told them, I'm like, make sure you
from
wear your
the
Stetson
people.
hat because they're actually giving away, I believe it's like a $650
hat.
Well,
hat.
Resistol is, a lot of people don't know that is where all the Stetsons, that's the cowboy capital of the world, right here in Garland. I mean, they make them for everybody in the world. That's where it's at.
Yes.
And if
yes.
you don't know, they have a little outlet store right out front. If you ever decide to,
It's my outlet
you want to
store.
come there
Yeah.
to do some shopping.
Yes. And Texas Security Bank, they're
Yep.
a huge sponsor, Sean Cass. They're
Yep.
incredible. I mean, they do so much work in Garland. So I think that's one of my favorite things is just seeing all the people getting involved
Yep.
that want to give back.
Right.
And they truly do care about the mission. And was it last year that it rained?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And-
And it was nice and muddy.
matter.
And it didn't matter.
Yep.
And,
Didn't
and
matter,
that's
yeah.
that's what I love about the events that we put together is it could be 105 outside, it can be pouring down rain,
It
and
is Texas.
everyone
It-
still
yeah.
shows up
Don't know
to
what
support.
Texas is going to bring.
Yep.
She's
That's the best
she's
part
all
about
over
it.
the place.
Wake
Yeah.
up that morning and bring a jacket anyway, because you know it could be warm, it's going to get cold, but we're going to do it anyway. And it's always been a good time these last 2 years.
Well,
So-
it's kind of like you said too, though. There's all these companies there, and it's not just construction or just computer companies where it's a
Oh
you
yeah.
don't know what you're getting, and
Different
then that's
industries.
that's like Tony said. The networking is pretty awesome. He's like, hey, we actually been looking to do this with our stuff, and we needed a company like you to do it. And then what's cool is that we're part of that to go,
Yeah.
hey, that's what we puzzled piece together for
yeah.
you guys. So it really helps everyone.
And you don't know who they know.
You
And
never
it's kind
know.
of more of that
Yeah.
grassroots
Hence how we've
marketing.
grown. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, man. And some
Yeah.
of the companies we brought in this year, like I brought in LRG Claims, and I've known the guy for years. I just said, "Hey, do you think you'd want to do this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, and I think that he's going to fit in well with the network. We have Jason King that has been a phenomenal support across the spectrum, not just the clay shoot, and these businesses are benefit from all of this, but we benefit from them way beyond.
Oh yeah.
Not just monetarily, and I want you to know that.
Oh yeah.
Not just monetarily, but some of the friends and the people that we've met and support us. It doesn't have to be just monetarily. I mean, somebody over here has been a huge support, and she just doesn't want to get in front of the camera. But
one day it shall happen.
but
Yeah.
these people that we meet are incredible. I mean,
Oh.
Sheena, I mean,
A force
work
to
with
be
her-
reckoned with.
yeah. So,
But oh, go
to
ahead.
work with you, it's been amazing. I
Yeah.
mean,
I only drink like 4 Red Bulls.
Oh,
before I
no.
powder, so.
She's got the Red Bull backpack on,
Yeah.
and it's just running a vein because she is like full
Yeah.
force
I can't compete
every
with
day,
this
all
one.
day.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
that's Mrs. J's sugar.
Yeah,
that's what's powering
that's the
that.
toffee.
We solved the secret.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and it's close friends, it's family, it's what we do, like it's our life. Like we're always working. And I went through this when obviously I've had my 2 craniotomy surgeries, and I had my last surgery, and people get caught up, and this relates back to you guys as well, but people get caught up in the hustle and bustle of every day. And I was actually more nervous about this last surgery because my steroid injections were giving me heart palpitations, my chest was tight, and I'm like, what if I don't wake up? What if my heart gives out? And I kind of was talking, and I have very supportive, people around me, but a lot of times people were just too busy. Like, oh, I got to go do this. I got to do that. And I'm like, oh, do people really care? And I was up there, and after surgery, and I had, I believe 3 or 4 from the foundation reached out to me, and they're like, how are you doing? How are you feeling after surgery? And I'm like, some of my closest friends never even reached out to me or commented on a Facebook post educating people. But I'm like, these are like friends and family in the community that took the time out of their day to see how I was doing. So it just shows like you said, it's not just about money.
Yeah.
It's a whole deeper meaning and level of connection of what we're doing in the community.
But I'm betting you checked your text about 5 minutes after you woke up, didn't you?
Yeah.
No. That one was a little harder.
I was like, you got this, Sheena. You got this. Be a warrior. You got this.
And
But you're right. I mean, a lot of the companies that after you get to know them, I may not be able to get their product like a construction company, but they help so much. You end up just randomly texting, hey, man, I'm just checking on you. How you doing? And it's been pretty cool, the people that I've met. And then obviously what happens is sometimes, and man, we both know this, you just, one of your friends or a company needs this. Then we love being the connectors, like, I got somebody, and then they're like, man, thanks for thinking about me. And so, yeah, we actually try to truly get to know the people that help us and be a support to them in one form or another.
Yeah, we had something with metal recycling, and something happened with the company, and I'm like, Encore Recyclers, and within like a couple hours they had a bin out here, and we've used them ever since.
Yep.
So how many people are on y'all's board?
There is 8 people.
Yes.
Not to throw you on the spot.
No, there's 8.
There's 8 people.
We need you
we joke around because I was the president, and now I'm the director of events, and then Josh became president, and he went from social media. Now he's with you, and he's doing the event coordinator. And so by technicality, I talked to him. It's just you're changing titles.
Yeah.
All of us, I talked about this with you too. And, I said, it's awesome when you walk in the room as a group and no one knows who the leader is. Everyone on the board takes charge of it. Becky's my right-hand lady now. She keeps me in line. They said, get ready, man. It's you better drink a lot. You're going to need a lot of Red Bulls around Tank. But yeah, just changing titles, and it's kind of the same people. But what's nice about it is finally we've gotten to the point now where within the city and the PD and the citizens, again, like Becky from the Citizens Police Academy, if they see what we're doing, they're like, hey, I want to be part of that. Right. Oh, you mean you're interested in being on the board or helping with? Like, yeah. So now we're starting to get citizens on the board, which is really awesome. And because now they're coming into our PD, you're coming into our PD. We're actually have sit down board talks, and we would have never seen that. Like, we never would have thought that. And then Chief's like, yeah, just bring whoever in you need to. And sometimes we'll bring in someone that's like, I've never been in. Like,
I know, I was like, I've never been inside the police department before.
The Hello Event Center, Kathleen DiNicola, I'm bringing her down. She's like, I've never really been in a police department. We're just like walking in here like it's nothing, and I'm going deep in y'all's PD. And I was like, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. So we're going to go meet in the academy today. And that's been pretty cool to watch happen just within the last year. Finally, it seems to be coming to fruition where it's not only just the support of us, but actually saying, I want to be part of y'all, and how can I help? And we're like, oh, really? Like, we almost didn't know what to do with it. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, you had like Nancy Wynn comes in and just, oh my, great at finances, and is like, hey, look at this. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, that's, wow. Okay. That's great. I didn't think about that. And having those outside sources, because you got to realize when we started, we were
Oh,
14 cops,
yeah.
18 cops
18,
donating money
yeah.
to keep him afloat, and then kind of sifted off into these
Yeah.
8 board members, and we
Yeah.
started going, we need people from other places. So we brought them in from patrol, we brought them in from CID, and now we're at the point now where, like you said, we're bringing Becky in, we're bringing Nancy in.
Yeah.
One day we're going to steal Sheena for a board position.
Yeah.
But
It might just happen.
Yeah.
but to
be awesome.
and it benefits us because it opens us up to the possibilities that we don't think about, and when we don't think about that, it's something that we're here to benefit the department, and anybody who's willing to sit with us and do that is more than welcome.
Yeah.
You know,
I always like to think that like Lieutenant Carker brothers like looking down on us and smiling, saying like, "All right, guys," you know. So but sometimes we think about how we got started, which is kind of what you're talking about, the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, like what were your expectations in the beginning, and then
Oh,
like how
man.
fast it went to like
we
hey.
didn't. That's actually been because, like I said,
Well-
we do this on our own time. So
yes.
I guess maybe I should give background. Like we are the guys you don't like to see behind you. We're motorcycle officers. Like typically people do not want to really have any type of interaction with us. At the best, they like to wave, you know, please don't get behind me. Please don't turn around. So yes, to answer your question, we would have never thought because we we're just like, how can we help all of us?
Right.
Like, how can we put something out there? And then, here we are. Like we got
Well-
citizens on the board. I mean, it's just like, I can't believe it.
And you talk about starting out. I mean, we had that money, and being a new board, we said, you know what we'll do? If somebody comes to us, we'll give them 10% of what we have in the bank. 10%.
Yeah.
Right? So we did that,
Ugh.
and then we did it again, and we did it again, and we went,
Oh, money
Oh,
goes
oh,
money goes
oh.
away.
we are
Wow.
going to be broke quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we worked on our bylaws, and we changed it, and we can't give as much,
but you can help more.
but we can help more
Yeah.
people. But what we want to do is get to the point where we can get back to giving that large sum,
Yeah, that's
and
what we need help with.
where nobody has to worry, you know, because anybody out there who's ever dealt with insurance and your deductibles and your co-pays and all that stuff realizes how quickly that accumulates. And what we're trying to do is take that stress away.
Mhm.
And the more money we make, the more money we can put towards that, the more stress we can take off of these people. If we can cover
Yep.
every bit of what their co-pays and their finances that they have to pay,
That'd be a dream.
that'd be a dream. That's where we want to be.
And even on top of the financial aspect, it's the connections. You know, if
Right.
there's someone who needs counseling or
Mhm.
someone has a tumor,
Yeah.
you know,
So I have
you can-
nurses. There's one nurse I have. She's been a nurse since Vietnam, and she's kept her insurance. She's kept her nursing license. She was a Navy nurse, and she's so awesome that she's been asked for the second time now to speak at the Nurses Memorial in Washington D.C., where she talks to everyone
Oh wow.
that's a nurse currently in the military or anywhere else. So, but to give you kind of a monetary example, one of our officers, Travis Nelson, retired, and he had gotten his pilot's license. Well, now he's working for this great, awesome, amazing company, and he's learning how to instruct jets. So he instructs everything. So now he's going to start learning how to instruct people on jets. Well, he has his own 6-seater twin turbo that he got a few Decembers ago. And so what we did is the same thing we did with Carker and a few other officers that have had cancer that have to go to MD Anderson. We'll take our time out. We'll meet them and take them to Addison Airport. Literally red carpet, put them and the family on the 6-seater, and he flies them. So what he does is he's like, hey, if I have someone that's needing their pilot, like to get more hours on this particular aircraft and they're good to go, then he lets them borrow his aircraft to fly our people, if not himself. Right. And he volunteers that time. All right, so what's the monetary? Well, a round trip, so what we don't want them to do is drive 4 hours after chemo there and back. So what we do is we fly them. It takes 37 minutes to get there. They do all their chemo. We have Ubers waiting. They fly back another 37 minutes. They're at home that night. Right. Less stress. That's $2,500. $2,500 to $2,700 is fuel for the aircraft. That's all he asks. He's like, I'll give my time or the pilot's time because it's working for me and my students as well. I'm loaning my aircraft out. All I ask. And he actually did not even want us to do that. But we're like, we can't. he has such a big heart. We're like, please let us help you. And
Yeah.
and he said, okay, pick up the fuel. Well, that's $2,500. And sadly, remember, we have veterans. Well, veterans have been exposed to a
That's
lot
what I was
of
going to
things.
ask. Everything
Right.
you've been
My-
exposed to, cancers.
My cancer, I got 2 cancers. I had bile duct cancer. I was in a Navy Seabees. There's some product I was messing with for my job. I got cancer twice. I'm going to my oncologist tomorrow. I just had all my CAT scans. Been dealing with it for 12 years. They're just checking on it constantly. I had 68% of my liver removed. And then a year later, they found kidney cancer. It had nothing to do with anything else. They had to remove my left kidney, so that's why I don't box for Guns and Hoses anymore. I became a coach. We are seeing this reoccurrence in the veterans again that are police officers or our jailers or whoever. And so a trip to Andy Anderson has not been uncommon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so even that, builds up, other than the money that we're helping them out with on top of that flight. So, yeah, it builds up
Yeah.
fast.
And another
Yeah.
thing, and I speak from experience, I had a tumor removed about 3 years ago.
Mhm.
About 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
And they gave me a 50-50 chance of survival.
Yeah.
And the night before the surgery, one of our attorneys, and that's another service that they volunteer their time, came and did my last will and testament and some other paperwork to make sure that my family was taken care of.
Mhm.
And that was those services were provided by them to us to provide to, and it's been used several times. But that was kind of comfort to me. And unless you've been in that position, and Tank has, I have, you worry about your family, and knowing that part of it was taken care of, that stress was off the table,
Yeah.
was a huge relief for me.
That's
Yeah.
good.
You know,
So I think that kind of like how we've grown. Some of the citizens that sometimes it's not even monetary from them. It's like, well, I am a nurse that works at Baylor or Dallas. We have one of those. And she's like, anytime you need me to translate
Mhm.
what the doctor's saying, boy, we all know those, right?
Yeah.
Like you're looking at this sheet of paper with these big words. You're like, man,
Yeah.
what is this saying? And it
Yeah.
sounds really scary. And sometimes it sounds a lot scarier than it is. And
Yeah.
sometimes it is really serious. So now I have nurses where they can say, hey, if they don't mind, tell them to come to me. And she looks over everything.
Break it
and
all down.
Yep, this is what's going on.
Just the resources that you have now.
This seems normal.
with the
That's it. Yeah,
nonprofit.
that's the citizens coming in. And the more we help, you'd be surprised. Like even from paralegals to, I have probably every connection there is. People joke around about you and I knowing everyone. Well, it's because who helps us.
right?
It's not like we just magically think of this. We're out in the community, which has been
Oh, yeah.
therapeutic for all of us, and we know people. So now I've found, like you and us, that the people come to us and they'll say, hey, I'm kind of having this problem. Do you know anyone? And I'm just like, check, I got it.
Right.
1 second, call this person. And that's because of the citizens and people that we meet to help us and then want to volunteer their time that way, which is big because time's a precious commodity, man. Sometimes that's more than money, you know?
Oh yeah, and all that you guys do. You're cooking barbecue for other
man.
organizations.
We are major. We cook for a lot of people.
Yes, we do.
A lot of people. Yeah.
And this was emotional. Obviously, I didn't know him personally, but everything you guys did, obviously, for Cooper and his
Oh, yeah.
family, just to know that the people that
Yeah.
I had only met him one time, but to know everyone through Garland PD and how close I am with you guys and what you guys
Yeah.
were going through and the funeral arrangements and stepping up. And it's like, you're doing that, your job, your home life, medical issues, the nonprofit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dawson was so I was on SWAT for about 17 years, and he was on my team before he went to Greenville PD. So you're exactly right. Sometimes that's a good point. Sometimes it's connections because he's not a Garland PD officer anymore. So there's bylaws and everything, but that doesn't mean that we can't make connections. And that's
Right.
exactly what we all did.
Yep.
We're like,
Mhm.
let's pull together, let's get some connections going. And man, did we? And yes, I was able to be part of, all of us were
Right.
working with someone that worked hard to get a check to the family. And that felt awesome. And I was like, wow, okay, so we really are kind of outside of our own, because of connections.
Right.
We were able to help other foundations out.
And honestly, I think at this point, like we talked about 4 years, I think the board is more therapeutic when we do
Mhm.
this. I think that is our therapy. is to go out and help and do
Mhm.
what we can. I know when I finish something, we finish a cook or we finish a therapy session, it's therapeutic for me as well, being able to see these people benefit from it.
Yeah, we do a lot of cooking, man. People, especially around Swavey. I mean, with
Yeah.
all of our foundations working together, which Sheena's a huge part of. Yeah, man, you name it: barbecue, hamburgers,
Yep.
steaks,
Korean chicken.
Korean chicken. We've done. We have
Yes.
hundreds of people.
Yes.
big cooks. Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun because people are like, hey, can I have this? We're like, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So where do
Pretty
you
awesome.
guys see, in the next couple years, where would you like the foundation to go?
Ooh.
I honestly, I would like to get to the point just in the next couple of years where we can double what we give.
That I would like that, and I would also like people to start saying, hey, how can we help be part of you, like
Right.
literally like the board, like again, like Becky's, because again, we are full-time officers, and so it's nice to have what I call, like, Becky, she's my wing woman, man. She keeps me in line, and but she helps me keep thoughts together.
Speak words.
That's weird because
Yeah, and
Lori.
she and Josh said, when Josh said, man, Becky, I'm sending you to Tank, get ready, and it's gonna be like shotgun shells going everywhere, and you're just gonna be picking up everything around them. But yeah, more citizens to help out, other police officers to kind of build up our
get
board,
involved.
so we can kind of just. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm like, we're like you. Like, I wake up and I'm thinking right off the bat, I got this, and
Mhm.
this. And then when I go to bed, I'm like, okay, tomorrow when I wake up, I got this, and this. And
Time
I
management.
haven't
Right.
even talked about my.
And that's not even the job. You
That's
still
not
got
my
the
job.
to do.
I got
Yeah,
I got
that's
bosses to
outside of
make
that.
happy.
Yeah.
I got accidents to work. I got I'm a traffic officer. So yeah, that the help would
And
be a
I-
big one too.
You don't have to do this. I'm not giving you more work. But even what you were mentioning, kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the platform, an outline of what you guys have built to kind of be able to convey that to
That's
other
it.
departments.
That sounds like something the president should.
That's the president.
Yeah,
I
the
think
president.
Josh. He's probably
Jo-
going to listen
Josh
to us.
Wren?
Josh.
Yeah,
Josh is
that,
like,
Josh, he's
that would
the
be
president.
something
Don't
really
give
good.
me
He does
more work,
outlines.
Sheena.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that would be cool
No, you're
that
right.
you could go share with
Yes.
other different cities, departments of this
We
is
do.
what we built with the foundation and the
Mhm.
community, the war room, and have that outline.
And they ask that, and
Yes.
and it's kind of like you're doing now. And they're like, "Can you just tell us how
Got
do we do this?
Yeah, what's the
like, and
structure?
And you're right. You look back and you're like, because it's
how-
just gone that fast.
How
It's
did we
like,
get here?
Yeah.
It's like you show up at the clay shoot and you're like,
well, even speaking now, you look at me, you're like, wow. I asked you, I said, we're 4 years in now, right? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. Even last time we talked, we've even gotten bigger.
and by the way, you got Becky. I got Sheena. Sheena runs me.
Well, you know
Sheena's in charge of me.
What's funny is I'm finding more and more women on the board.
Yeah.
And then one of them said, that's because you want things done right. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can't really argue that.
We were talking about that yesterday because
Okay.
I like put notes in my phone and Sheena's got like this, and
Oh, that's what.
yeah, she's got
Yeah.
her notebook and I'm
No,
like,
that's what happened to me. So,
Yeah.
we're at a meeting and I'm thinking, like, because we're getting stuff together for the clay shoot for the sponsorship dinner, which we also do. We like to take care of our sponsors a couple days later and say, hey, thank you, and let's
Mhm.
network and
Get
eat.
our city council.
Get our city
mayor.
council mayors together. So I'm doing that, and I'm kind of taking like me mental notes and typing in my notepad in my phone, and all of a sudden Becky sends me this email. She goes, "This is what we talked about during the whole entire thing," and it's outlined, and it's like grammatically correct. I'm going, "Oh, is this what I'm supposed to be?
Grammar's not his thing.
Is this what I'm supposed to be doing?"
Yeah.
And so Josh was like, "Hey, when you get a chance, can you debrief me?" I was like, "Yes, I can."
I have this.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yes.
Forward. And it was so awesome. I told Becky, thank you so much. I literally forwarded your email. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
saved
me
an hour.
It did. It
does,
literally
yeah.
saved me a lot of
Time
time.
management.
I got back out into the streets because of her. People became unhappy with traffic tickets because of her. No, I'm just kidding.
so organized.
Can I say
So
that?
organized.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
hey,
Okay.
I have to throw this out there. It's funny too. I'll never forget. I was at Dos Penderos with Nancy, and then Pesta was there, so Garland PD. And then I get in my truck, and I'm at a stoplight, and I'm texting Tony about the clay shoot. I'm like, cool. Texting police. And then I look up and I'm like, I'm getting pulled over by a police officer in Garland. And my registration needed some fixing, but I got it
Your
handled.
registration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
You know,
we
you
see
get
those from
busy.
time to time. Yeah.
and they're like, I rolled my window down and they're like, oh, Sheena. And I haven't been
Yeah.
pulled over in like 20 years.
It's probably
I was
good
like,
to
I'm
always,
sorry.
just have a good outline of why you weren't able to make that to work. It goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, excuses always work for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, obviously we've got the big clay shoot.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the other events you guys have coming up for the rest of the year.
Is this me? All right.
This is you.
Okay. Well,
This is
Carrie-
actually Becky, but
well,
Casino night.
well, we have casino night, but first, right after your deal, we have the car wash event, and that's
Oh,
with
yeah.
Carrie Hoffer with the Caliber.
you have-
March.
That's
That's in my
28th,
calendar.
29th, and 30th is
Yes.
our weekend. And he's doing awesome. He's looking after like the boxing gym and all these, and he gave us a weekend. So we're gonna
Yes.
raise money and help build his business.
And he does a ton in the community. Used to be in
Yeah.
Garland, and he's with Caliber Car Wash Mesquite. And he's doing such a phenomenal job that they gave him the Rowlett location. They
Yeah.
just opened, which is like 5 minutes
Right.
from downtown. So during those dates, 50% of the car
Yeah.
wash proceeds are going back
That's crazy.
to Garland
That's
Police Never Walk
awesome.
Alone
Yeah.
Foundation.
and
So
everybody needs a car wash.
yes,
And Caliber is awesome. No joke,
Yes.
because that's actually my personal car wash.
yeah,
It just is what it is. It's a great car wash. He does the one in Mesquite, but the one in Rowlett is amazing. So, and it just opened, and it's awesome. He's doing
And
a great job.
real close to Garland.
It
so
is.
basically, is
Super close, right across the bridge. After that, we have the casino night, and that's August 23rd. And Kathleen DiNicola is over that. She's our coordinator on that, and she's over the Hella Event Center in Garland, right across from the stadium on Rowlett Road. And so that's going to be a big one. We're trying to go for a little bit more elegant. Tables are for sale on that. You can go on our website, garlandpolicefoundation.org.
Yep.
And .org. Like, Sheena's like, good job, Tank. So
Or
you-
contact a board member.
yeah, or contact a board member. And then, so basically, we're going to have we're working on a Brazilian steakhouse right now to do that, the food, and we just treat everybody to some fun casino night, legit casino night. It's going to be fun. And then after that, Kathleen DiNicola with the Shriners Event Center, the Hell
Hold
Event
on
Center.
real quick.
Yeah.
Can they also come and buy a ticket at the door?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're.
That's
Thank
at
you for
the
that.
Hella Shrine
Yeah.
Temple.
Yeah, you can come do there. So whether you're a business or an individual, thanks, man. Yeah, business or an individual, come gamble the legal Texas way.
Yeah.
Because we're police
you're-
officers.
you're gambling
and we
for
would
raffle
not do
prizes.
anything illegal.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The
Edit that
podcast, the guys are like, Tank, did you just say that as a police officer?
Please
That's
edit
legal.
that out.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
we're good.
Wait,
Anywho,
why is it quiet during this section and his lips are moving?
come to bingo, the Texas gambling. Okay, anyways. So, anyways.
But yes,
Moving
everybody
on,
come.
I'll never get fired. All right, here we go. The next one is the haunted house, and that's Hella Event Center with Kathleen DiNicola. So sometimes what we do is we like to help out other foundations and help them out. And so this year, the haunted house, we always have an actor come. Last year, Kathleen had Pinhead from Hellraiser come out, which was awesome.
The
Signed
actor.
autographs. Yep. And this year, it's possible. It is not confirmed. We're in talks right now. She works with Randy, who puts on the Dusty Attic Toy Show, and he has his own production company. He's talking to the original Jason to come out and sign autographs.
Landon's like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's he said that we're working on it. There's a pretty good chance that's gonna happen, but someone will be out there. And then what we do is we put a room together, and everybody buys a room, which is your donation, and then you set up that haunted house how you want. We have old SWAT walls, and it's really scary. It's like we do it in their huge rodeo barn, and people loved it last year. So sometimes that's what we do, just like you do. We help out foundations and just help them grow too,
Yep.
and because it all comes back around.
And that's what we're talking about. Is it's not just our foundation. We've partnered with so many people that we help out as well, cooking especially.
Yeah.
But the haunted house, we definitely partner with them, and we want to see them benefit from it. So come on out to the haunted house. It's going to be scary.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be super fun. Yeah.
We'll get Sheena in something.
Yeah.
You
We're gonna
know?
be scary. It's
Make
fun
her
scaring
scary.
people.
Yep.
Like I don't know if I should say that, but it is. It's for a good cause.
Yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
a good cause.
So
Unfortunately,
please, yeah.
we scare people every
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
Every time the red and
We
blue lights
actually
come
we
on.
do. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I mean,
Yeah.
we don't like scaring
Yeah.
people that way.
I try to
but
walk
come
up
to the
with a
haunted
smile.
house.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out.
That's funny.
But yeah, definitely we could use some help. Again, March 28th, 29th, and 30th at Kerry Hoffer's Caliber Car Wash
Yes.
in Rowlett. That's going to be our weekend, and if y'all want to come by and support us, that would be super
And I think they're doing discounted memberships too if you sign up during that 3-day window.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll be posting about that.
Another thing we support is the First Responders Tournament.
Yep.
We support them, and
Yep.
it's police versus fire versus nurses versus doctors versus
Whoever they pull into
whoever
their
they
team.
pull into their
Yeah.
team. And it gets pretty good. It's pretty
It does.
fun.
It gets-
So
yeah, it's,
that's on our website when we're doing that. So
You never know what you're going to get out of a soccer game. Sheena can
Yeah.
tell you that. Sometimes
Yeah.
it gets a little pretty intense.
$1.2 million head now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
yeah. But everything we're talking about is on our website. So take a look at it and join us for any one of these events that you
Yeah.
see. We'd love to see you at any one of them. Come talk to us. We're more than willing to be social. We'll even get Becky there soon.
Yeah.
But come talk to us when you come up.
I don't know what you're saying. Oh, the Ashley Equestrian Therapy? Yes. We work with Ashley Equestrian Therapy too, who's Paige Nolan does that. And so we have the rodeo coming up. And
Oh,
what's
the
that?
Oh,
Iron-
yeah.
Iron
Becky's like,
Forges.
"Thanks for putting
the
me
Iron
on the-
Forges Iron Rodeo.
So yeah, iron sharpens
iron.
iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
It's Ashley Equestrian Therapy out of Terrell, and she helps veterans. Her brother is a Marine EOD,
Yep.
Chief Warrant Officer. So she helps out veterans, police, or first responders in general, and she actually helps out handicapped kids too with her horses, and it's absolutely amazing therapy. Sadly, we had to bring some officers there because of Cooper Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
We went through to just kind of help them kind of get through some stuff. And but she's having a ranch rodeo, and that's going to be in Royce City, and April
26th.
April 26th.
Yes.
I think you're doing better than I am reading.
I don't even have my glasses.
Yeah, April 20th.
When she holds up a 2
I'm
and a
just
6.
surprised you can see that. Yeah, I'm near your. Okay, so yeah, April 26th, the Ranch Rodeo. That we're going to be a big help on that,
Yep.
and that's going to be for veterans and first responders. That's going to amazing stuff. Thank you for reminding me.
And
of
it is
that.
a ranch rodeo, so it's anything that they're going to do on a ranch. It is
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Totally different than a regular
Yes,
rodeo.
yes.
It is pretty awesome.
And that's what's good about all these different events and just being honest. I know there's some companies that may not do the clay shoot because of a gun or
Right.
casino because of gambling, but there's
Right.
different areas they
Legal
can
gambling.
do. Legal gambling.
Legal.
Yes.
You
But
know,
they
it's
can
kind
go
of
to-
sort of, yeah.
Or go to the
Yeah.
rodeo or, just there's several things they can get involved in. So,
Right.
but finishing up, any last words you guys want to talk about the foundation, community involvement?
I just want to see us grow to the point where we can help everybody as much as they need, because there's always going to be a need. We can only meet a portion of that need. We'd love to meet it all.
Yeah, it would be cool to be able to expand the bylaws
Mhm.
to helping like first responders.
I was going to say that, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah,
add to your
well,
list.
but it
Other cities.
No, we'd
all
love
of
that
Texas.
would be
And
great.
we've discussed that as
Yeah.
a dream. I mean, to get
Yeah.
big enough to do that.
Because we're a connection and we do all that like we were talking about earlier, but it would actually be really nice to be able to say, yeah, we can help them monetarily or whatever else,
Yeah.
but it's going to take some growth and we need some
Yes.
help from everybody.
Yeah. We've only been
Yeah.
at it 4 years, and we look back on what we've done and we're like, how
Oh
did
my
we get
gosh.
here?
Yeah.
I'd love to look back 4 years from
Yeah.
now and go, wow.
Yeah. We're Metroplex. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
You
that-
heard it here first.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's a dream we have, and we never thought we'd get to where we are today.
Yeah.
So we're going to shoot for it.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get there, and the way we get there is
Speak it into
All of y'all.
existence, Ted.
That's it. That's what Sheena says. Speak it into his existence, Tank. Like,
yep.
So, well, perfect. I mean, thank you guys for coming out
yeah,
today.
absolutely.
And March 21st. So if you guys need a team, reach out through the website. Anybody on Facebook. Right now we have 40 teams of 4, and we can accommodate 60
20 more.
teams.
20
so
more.
Yeah.
that's kind of our, we're in a great place now. But if we could reach 70, 80 grand, and next year We're aiming for 100.
100.
100.
100 grand.
So, but
Love it.
stay tuned and GarlandPoliceFoundation.org.
Yes.
Correct?
That's it.
That's
Good
it.
job, Sheena.
Perfect.
But we never walk alone. I mean, that's the whole point of that
Literally,
statement.
never walk alone. Yeah.
We want them to understand that none of us walk alone. There's always us or somebody there to help them.
Yeah, check.
Perfect. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you guys.